Hello Skele Vaderites and friends of Skele Vader. Welcome to my Super Bowl Sunday Superman video. And I'm really excited to share these figures with you. It's been a long time coming and I'm a little late to the game, but let's have a look at some Mcfarlane Superman figures. So, as many of you may not know, I am a fan of Superman. I was a huge fan of Superman as a kid, and it's been off and on for me over the years. My personal Superman is the Superman that would show up in the comic books in the 70s and 80s, the Superman on the Super Friends TV show, and of course, the Superman that was in the 1978 film with Christopher Reeve. Now, I also grew up watching reruns of the black and white Superman television series that was on TV, and I loved that too. Huge nostalgic connection to those versions of Superman. I do have to admit that after the 80s, I really didn't pay too close attention to Superman until the movie started to come out, the modern film started to come out. But even then, I've always been a little bit disappointed with contemporary versions of this character until recently. But we'll get into that in a little bit. But I also love the Max Fleischer cartoon series of Superman. And recently, Mcfarlane Toys came out with a Max Fleischer inspired Superman action figure in the superpowers scale. And this is an amazing figure and an amazing design. And we're going to talk about the face sculpt in a little bit, but I know there's some of you out there that have feelings about this particular face sculpt, but I loved the Superpowers line from the 80s. Now that they're making these figures in this scale, I'm hooked. To a certain extent. I'm not buying all of them. Goodness, there's, I think, 45 of them now. But we're going to have a look at the two newest versions of Superman that have come out from Mcfarlane. And when I say newest, I mean, like I said, I'm a little bit behind on this. But these two versions of Superman, I am very excited to explore. And there's a variety of reasons why. I love Bizarro. And this, folks, this is the Superman that I love the most. So let's get these open and have a close look. Now here's a close look at the packaging. This is Bizarro. I love the illustration here, really fantastic. And this, I'm really excited about this figure. He looks fantastic. All of these card backs are the same. As you can see, we're up to number 45 in this line. I only have a few of these, but this line is really expanding. And as we're gonna talk about in a little bit, continuously getting better. And this is the Superman that we're gonna be focusing on today as well. Super Bowl Sunday Superman. All right, so here is a close look at the Max Fleischer Superman. Obviously, this is an amazing design. I've always been a fan of the black background behind the S, and I just think this is a really great design. Now, this is the first Superman that I bought from this modern superpowers line, and I hadn't purchased one of these because of this face sculpt. I feel like this face sculpt, for me, has not quite pushed that nostalgia button for me. It's a good face sculpt, it's not bad. It just doesn't really, to me, look like the Superman that I grew up with. But this Superman face sculpt that just recently came out, I feel differently about this. This, I think, is a spectacular face sculpt. I really do think that this face sculpt is substantially better. And I'm hoping that they stick with this one or continue to improve. But I think this is a really great version, but we'll get back to him in a little bit. Let's first look at Bizarro. Now, I've been a huge fan of Bizarro since I saw him show up in Super Friends, but this, I just love it. I am not educated as far as the comic book lore and the long history of Bizarro, but I've always been a fan of the idea of opposites. And so this bad version of Superman is really great and pretty funny. You know, if you're familiar with this character, he has a backwards S here on his chest, right underneath his Bizarro #1, because he is #1. And then he has the backwards S here on the back as well, which is really funny. And let's look at this face sculpt though, because I think this is just remarkable. Just an amazing job Mcfarlane did on this face sculpt. So this guy is great. He has articulation in the knees, as all of these do, and articulation in the shoulders, and articulation in, ooh, interesting. Yeah, there it is. Articulation in the neck. 7 points of articulation on these figures, and they definitely have a retro look, which makes me super happy. And this Bizarro is fantastic. Of course, we never had a Bizarro in the original Superpowers line, so having him here today in this retro style is fantastic. Now we're gonna talk about this Superman. The Superman that I grew up with as a kid of the early 80s had the yellow belt with the little circular belt buckle, the red shorts, the red boots, the red S with the yellow background, the little curly Q on his hair, and the yellow S on the back of the cape, which, if I understand correctly, we have not gotten yet. And that really sold me on this particular version of Superman. He has the same exact articulation as Bizarro, which makes complete sense. All of these have the same articulation. But I have a little bit of a complaint here, and that is that I've been having a hard time finding the Mcfarlane Christopher Reeve 1978 Superman that has been showing up. I even pre-ordered one through GameStop and it never came. We ended up having to cancel that order. And I feel like that Superman figure that has recently come out is just near impossible to find. So Mcfarlane, you got to get on it and make that thing available. If most collectors who are like me did not pre-order it, they're unable to get it. But this guy is fantastic and makes me super happy. And to be honest with you, I could just have this guy around and never have the need for the other versions. He does all the things for me, pushes all the nostalgia buttons for me. They're all lighting up right now. So this is a good figure, folks. I've seen them show up only once in the stores, and I picked these two up from this particular wave. This is, I think, the most recent wave. But if you do see them out there, grab them, folks. These are fantastic. So there you have it, folks. Superman for Super Bowl Sunday, from Skele Vader to you. I'm so excited about this. I'm really excited about the new movie. I'm a big fan of what James Gunn has done and what he's been working on since the beginning of his career. I love his early films, even the stuff he did helping out with Trauma back at the beginning of his career. And I'm really excited about this Superman film that he has coming out. I feel like he's trying to really capture the nostalgia of Superman, the Superman that we all grew up with, the symbol of hope. I'm really excited about this. But folks, if you see these figures out in the stores, pick them up. This Superman is amazing, super fantastic. So in the spirit of Superman for 2025, I hope you all find these figures. I hope that you have better luck than me in finding the Christopher Reeve 1978 Superman from Mcfarlane. I got my eyes open still. I'm hoping that he shows up one of these days. I'm able to grab him, and then we'll do another video about him. But in the meantime, here's to a wonderful year. Keep your chins up, folks, and I hope that you're safe today on Super Bowl Sunday. Drive safely, don't do anything silly, but have fun with your loved ones, and I hope you enjoy the game. So, as you know, you're on YouTube. Please do the YouTube things. Make a comment down below. Click like and subscribe. Tell your friends about Skele Vader. You can find me over there on Instagram, and you can also Become a Patreon if you're interested for $3 a month, and I've got all kinds of fun stuff happening there. I appreciate every single one of you, and I'll see you in the next video. They're all lighting up right now.